The Renaissance, also known as the Rebirth, is an Italian idea, and the Italian Renaissance generally covers the periods from the beginning of the 4th century to the end of the 16th century. The Renaissance marked a great cultural change throughout the whole of Europe and is viewed as a bridge between the medieval and modern ages. It was the explosion of free thinking and eventually spread to the artists and architects of the 15th century. Early Italian Renaissance art began to emerge in Florence during the first decade of the 15th century. Florentine and the other Tuscan artists Brunelleschi, Donatello, Masaccio, and Mantegna instigated a series of discoveries and improvements in all the visual arts, which effectively revolutionized the face of the public and private art in Italy and beyond. Although it eventually spread throughout Italy, the early Renaissance was centered on Florence and patronized by the Florentine Medici family. Towards the end of the century, the movement reached its high point during the period known as the High Renaissance, notably in the arcs of Leonardo da Vinci, Raphael, Michelangelo, and Titan. During this time period, Italian scholars saw themselves as a reawakening to the ideas of the Roman culture.
La Primavera was painted by Sandro Botticelli in 1477. It was neither portrait, icon, nor holy celebration. It was pure fantasy inspired by poetry and fueled by a vivid imagination. This painting shows Venus, ancient goddess of beauty and fertility, celebrating the arrival of spring, La Primavera. She is surrounded by symbolic figures representing the virtues of gods and of the ancient world. Most of the figures have limbs which are long and slender and appear rather elegant. In the center we see the Roman goddess Venus. She reflects humanist interest in the classical world. The woman is depicted as an idolized woman. The early Renaissance was a time of creativity. This painting really portrays that. Masaccio painted the Holy Trinity in 1424. This composition is made up of the Christ, God of the Father, and the Holy Spirit. This painting is in somewhat of a pyramid shape. There is also an illusion of space throughout this composition. Masaccio also created one-point perspective. This gives us the sense that the image recedes back to space. At the bottom of this painting we see a tomb. This tomb appears to have outward projection. There is also a message on the tomb that essentially translates into death. This sends off a message that eventually this is where we will all be. This painting clearly exemplifies the cutting edge of early Renaissance. This painting expresses the mystery of faith as well as the art of science. Masaccio does a good job showing God's perfection through the harmony of classical architecture and the dignity of the human form.
There were other artists such as Uccello and Piero della Francesca that were also early Renaissance painters. Uccello was known for his ability to overlay basic geometric structure with poetic detail. He puts amazing painting techniques of the early Renaissance with colorful decorative art. He was also well known for his technique, and it was his own contribution to early Renaissance. In Piero's paintings, you can see the optimism, rationality, and poised human drama of the early Renaissance. Through this piece of art, St. Jerome is a perfect example of it. Overall, there are many artists of the early Renaissance period that show the reawakening ideas of the Roman culture.